Welcome to today's video. It's kind of another No Man's Sky rant video. Like that one, like I did say, well, there are some good, but there are some dislikes. And this is 100% dislikes in this one that I found. Now, the backstory of how I came to this was that I was trying to build the exocraft on a planet, and I was like, okay, well, why? I built some things. They looked like the voltic cells. It turned out I don't remember what they were, but they weren't voltic cells. So I'm like, okay, what in the world? Like, this is only blueprint that looks like a voltic cell, but it's not the voltic cell. Why do I not have that blueprint? Because, like, I built one at my base, so why don't I have that blueprint? Well, I go back to my planet, and I'm like, well, wait, where's the ladder? Because there's a guy upstairs, so I've got to build a ladder. Not noticing that the stations are empty. So, like, I'm looking, like, well, where is everybody? And then I finally go outside and look around. And this is what I'm greeted to. Now, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, or you haven't gone back and saw the No Man's Sky videos I did a while back, you may be like, so what's the problem? Well, the problem is my base before update was on a cliff. Well, it wasn't exactly on the cliff, like at a distance, but there was a cliff and water in the distance, slightly toxic planet. So, like, I had the radioactive flower-like items to use for the voltic cells right in my backyard type deals. But in post update, I have a world that is a high gravity, well, I believe it's gravity because the exosuit works faster, kind of barren looking planet. And like the toxic I could have gone without, but it's like the whole reason I set up on that planet was for the water, and they took the water away from that planet. So like I ended up having to abandon the base because like that water was my key thing. Like I want a planet where it's got water. And so like the next planet over has water, but it's one of those cases where it's an extreme cold world, which don't want, because water heightens stuff. Now the extreme cold, we're already looking at 2 to 3 times wear, and when there's a storm it's probably more. Like it only measures up to 3, but you gotta believe a storm's gonna be worse than that, so, or otherwise it wouldn't be there. And the water is kind of like a storm, like it amps it up, so the water would be unusable. Like I'd go into it and it'd be seconds before it's starting to freeze me. So like I end up having to jump out of the system to find something else. But like I'm kind of disappointed because like I did like this planet. Like yeah, it had its downsides, but it was a good planet. And so like it sucks that the update took that away. Like I don't quite see why the planet had to be changed. Like they claim that there's 18 quintillion planets out there, and the likelihood of them all being found are slim to none, which is even more so with the drop off of players, because I'm pretty sure this brought back some players, but it's not brought back them all. So like there's definitely going to be plenty of planets out there. Why do you have to change pre-existing planets? Why not change some of those? Like people are still going to come across them. So it's irritating at best. And like the kind of like the biggest insult on this is it's like, yeah, we've taken away your all your employees. We've taken away pretty much every blueprint they could give you. Like the only blueprints I think left from base stuff is the guy standing there. And it's like, but we know you can't build an exocraft right now. You gotta do some more stuff to get that exocraft back. But we will leave the exocraft pad there for you. And it's just like, well, what the... It's just really a nuisance, to be honest, that they got left there. And so, like, I've moved planets. You guys will see the new planet next week. I want to kind of be further along in the base development. I'll give you guys some hints about it. It's one of those, like, well, it's not, the grass isn't green, but it's one of those cases where it's a nice looking planet, but the sentinels are crazy as can be. I didn't really want to set up on one of those types of planets, but like, it's got water, so it's the planet I chose. And the water, you can't really see the water from my base. Once, like, when it comes time to do that, I will do like a flying. I'm not gonna do like this where it's right here, because like, once you see, as far as I can tell, there's no more water. Like, the water was just down a cliff before. That cliff is gone, so like, it just doesn't look like there's water on the planet anymore. But on that one, like, it'll be space station, fly on down into the planet type deal. Now, if your planet was negatively affected by this update and you want to move, but you may be saying to yourself, well, I want to move, but in the storage containers it's full of stuff. I don't particularly have the inventory, especially if you don't have a freighter like me. Like, I don't have a freighter yet. I'm not even sure if my grind still works. I haven't found a station post update that has my grind working, but then again, I've only jumped like 3 or 4 times since the update, and I'm pretty sure I've gone up to like 10-20 times without finding one that has my grind working in it. So like, I can't say for sure that my grind doesn't work anymore, but it may not, because they got the missions thing. So like, well, you don't need to be grinding like that if we give you these missions, because like, they have stuff on sale, but it's stuff that, well, not sale, but like, that they're paying more for, but it's not quite that gap. Like, this, the thing, dynamic resonator, I believe it's called, in that is the case of you are you're buying it for about 32,000 and you're selling it for about I think it's like 52,000. So like, there's profit to be made there. Now, these items, I don't know for sure how much you can buy, if you can buy them off the ships for first, and second, how much you can buy them off, but they're like 3,000-4,000. So even if these people are like, here, I don't want to have it for free, it's still not the money making that the dynamic resonator was. Now, the missions, some of them will pay out cash, but it's kind of one of those things where, like, say you have 5 unlocked, which is, like, it seems like a lot. Like, you basically have to be the best of buds with them before all of them are unlocked. And so a lot of people will probably be at the 5 marker, especially if you're starting over, because that seems to be the smart thing to do. But like, because I still can't figure out the exosuit compartments yet, so maybe that's the best way to do it. But since I have one more warp trophy, and I still I still gotta finish off the zoology stuff, I don't want to restart from scratch on that stuff. So like, I've got to put up with what I've got. But if you're restarting, you'll definitely be at like 5. Now, out of those 5, you'll have maybe 1 nanite cluster, 1 that pays cash, and the other ones are blueprints. So it's one of those cases of there's not really there, and like, they sometimes aren't the most ideal of situations. Like, I prefer the scan stuff, but you get missions like scan fauna, minerals, flora, which are good, but then you got the ones where you gotta kill the animals, you gotta kill a certain number of sentients. Those ones I don't quite like. And then probably the one I least like is the ones where it's like, we'll deliver these items. Well, to deliver that item, I have to use a warp cell more often than not. Like, there's a difference. We've got an item down there. We need you to go down to this planet, pick it up for us. And then you got the one, well, here's an item, we need you to deliver it. But the planet you're delivering it to, more times than not, seems to be in the next system over. And chances are it's also not in the path to the core or Atlas. So it's one of those things where, well, you want me to waste a warp cell to do this, and you're not paying me adequately. You should be paying me that cost plus that warp cell, because I'm going out of my way to do it. And well, honestly, I should be paying too, because if I want to come back here, I've got to use the warp cell to get there, and then I've got to use the warp cell to come back. And you still owe me that warp cell, because like that's just breaking even on the trip. That's not giving me back the one my initial investment. So like those ones I don't really like, and maybe I'm misreading it, but as far as I can tell, in the mission description, there's nothing there that says, by the way, you gotta leave this star system to go there. Now luckily, as far as I'm aware, only to the next system. Like, it'd suck if it's like, yeah, we need you to deliver this item, we'll pay you 50,000, but you gotta jump. We know you're heading, well, there's no north and south in the Galactic Map, but let's say towards the core is north. Well, we know you're heading north, but we need you to make about 5 jumps east and 1 jump south. Well, that's taking me way out of my way, and you're paying me 50,000? What's up with that? So, it's just a case of, it just doesn't seem to be worth it. So, unless it's like a get item, I recommend don't bother, because more times than not, the delivery point is not going to be in that system. Unless you're ready to leave that system and don't particularly care where it takes you, then by all means go. But if you do care, try to avoid those, because in the long run, it's not worth what you have to invest into it. Now, that's kind of longer than I was thinking, but and it kind of started off slow, but like it needs to be said. So I'm hoping that they'll be fixing this, but I don't know. Like, they did an update, and I don't really know what that, like, it was a couple days, like the update released Friday, and Monday there was another one. It was either Saturday or Monday, I don't quite remember. No, it had to have been Saturday, because I didn't play yesterday. But like, there's another update, but I didn't see anything on Facebook about that update, and I can't figure out what the update does. It's not anything that I'm ranting about or have ranted about, as far as I'm aware. And like I said, I still don't know anything about the exosuit things. Like, I posted on their update thread on Facebook. I'm like, hey, so I have the 48 slots, and I was learning how I go about doing it, because I click on it, and then as soon as you exit the screen, it will de-click on it. So I've got to figure out, well, how do I get that? Because I went to drop pod, because it doesn't really tell you anything. It just tells you, like, to get more exosuit slots, go to drop pod. Well, maybe because I have full things that it affects it, but why would it affect it? Like, more space is more space. Why should it matters? Nowhere does it say, well, here's your 48 slots, that's all you're allowed. Which isn't true, because there's like 4 in the upgrade section. So it's just like, they need, like, they have the tips, but the tips not even tell me anything about it. Like, because really it tells you, well, if you want more space, you got to go to drop dub. No, duh. That's been the rule since day one. I wanted more in-depth things. Like, is there a special drop pod I have to go to? Is there a special place I have to go to? What do I have to do to get the extra exosuit spots? Because they don't seem to have them on the space stations anymore. Like, that's something I remember. It used to be on Space Station.